welcome to the Speeding Bulletin. My name is Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com. This is all Superman related news that happened during the week April 30th to May 6th, 2010. Noel Neal appeared in the 1941 Universal Pictures short Jump and Jive in an uncredited role, and she is yet to see herself in it. Her representative Larry Thomas Ward and her friends have been looking for this hard-to-find film for years with no success. So now we're asking for assistance from Superman fans to help locate a copy of this film. Anyone with any information on or who knows of someone that has a copy of this film should contact Eddie Cairo at asuperherofan@yahoo.com. Speaking of Noel, she'll be appearing as a special guest at the 2010 Wild West Festival this October. The Wild West Festival will be held across October 15th to 17th at the Sahoro Ranch Historic Park in Glendale, Arizona. Visit wildwesternfestival.com for further details. In TV news, while Peter McDermott has yet to update our Smallville episode guide with his summary of the Sacrifice episode, Douglas Trumbull and Julian Finn have written their reviews, with Doug rating it a 3.5 out of 5, while Julian gave it a pass mark, but mostly because Zod now scares him. A reminder that Hostage, the 21st episode of Season 9 of Smallville, is scheduled to air tonight at 8 PM on the CW. In this episode, much to Clark's surprise, Martha Kent returns to Smallville with her new boyfriend Perry White in tow. Lois and Perry realise they're both working on the same story about the Red Queen and decide to team up, which ultimately puts them in serious danger. Look for our episode summary and reviews in the days following this episode. Smallville has received 6 nominations in the 2010 Leo Awards, honouring the best in British Columbian television and film production. The 2010 Leo Awards celebration ceremony will be held on Friday, June 4th, while the Gala Awards ceremony will be held on Saturday, June 5th. EW.com's Osceola Files had good news for fans of Alison Mack. Executive producer Brian Peterson said he's very optimistic the actress, who's in the thick of contract talks as we speak, will be bringing Chloe back next fall for the show's 10th season. We'll let you know when it's official. There were plenty of interviews and spoilers hitting the internet regarding the final 2 episodes of Season 9 of Smallville. Executive producer Brian Peterson told Fancast.com that this season's finale would be the most iconic. He also told TV Guide magazine that a clue to Season 10's baddie will be buried somewhere in the finale. He said, "Look very closely and you will see it. I think the comic fans will be able to spot it." Michael McKean and Annette O'Toole participated in a number of interviews this week ahead of their return to Smallville in this week's Hostage episode. Michael told E! Online that the romance between Martha and Perry is a peripheral thing. The CW released 20 images from Salvation, the Season 9 finale of Smallville. In this episode, Tess attempts to stop Zod, but he leaves her clinging to life. Clark and Zod battle for control of Earth. Salvation is scheduled to air at 8 PM on Friday, May 14th on the CW. Warner Home Video has released the back cover artwork for the upcoming release of Super Friends Season 1 Volume 2 on DVD. Scheduled to be released on July 20th, this collection, which follows on from the Super Friends Season 1 Volume 1 DVD release, will contain the remaining episodes from the 1973 to 1974 series across 2 discs. You can pre-order Super Friends Season 1 Volume 2 from Amazon.com. Superman homepage reviewer James Lance continues reviewing episodes of the 1950s Adventures of Superman TV series. Check out his review of My Friend Superman, in which a diner owner who claims to know Superman is pressured to pay insurance by crooks. Believe it or not, after a 4-month hiatus, the Superman homepage Ask Matt fan forum is back. Matt Idelson, the DC Comics editor of the Superman comic books, returns to answer your questions about the Superman books. Come by the site now to see what he had to say in reply to questions put to him by Superman homepage members. Newsarama.com conducted a video interview with writer James Robinson to discuss his comic book writing, which included discussions about the War of the Superman and the 100-minute war raging between Earth and New Krypton. He said it starts with the battle for Krypton, it becomes the battle for Mars, the battle for Earth, and then the battle for survival. DC Comics announced that Amy Reeder will be the new cover artist for Supergirl comic books, starting with issue number 55. She joins the already impressive team of writer Sterling Gates and artist Jamal Igle. Supergirl number 55 is expected to arrive in August. The 50th episode of the From Crisis to Crisis podcast is now online. This week the show hits the big 5-0 and the boys look at a whole slew of comics that came out with a December 1989 cover date. Superman comic books we reviewed this week included Action Comics 889, which was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who gave it a 1 out of 5, saying it was a mess from start to finish. Ralph Silver reviewed Superman Last Stand of New Krypton number 3, giving it a 5 out of 5, saying a rather dramatic and satisfying conclusion. Superman number 699 was reviewed by Neal Bailey, who said, if you don't think about the story, it's a 3 out of 5, but he rated it a 1 out of 5. Superman War of the Superman number 0 was reviewed by our team of reviewers, Ralph, Neil, Adam and Barry, with a range of scores from 2 to a 5 out of 5. Super Friends number 26 was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who gave it a 5 out of 5, saying, a nice story that has a different heroic perspective. Superman comics shipping this week from May 5th include Superman War of the Superman number 1, which is available in an alternate cover, Justice League of America Second Coming trade paperback. Superman on Trial was the title of a broadcast by the BBC that aired on the 1st of September 1988. In its original adventure, Superman was put on trial by the Guardians of the Galaxy for interfering in the destiny of humankind. The program runs for approximately 45 minutes and is now available to pre-order from Amazon.com for its June 3rd release. The Superman homepage is the focus of the Obsessed feature in the latest issue of Sci-Fi Now magazine, issue number 40. Located on the last page of the magazine, page 130, the full-page article is an interview with me about the Superman homepage website. Voted Best Magazine 2010, Sci-Fi Now issue number 40 can be purchased online from sci-fi-now.co.uk. The Superman homepage Super Trivia Quiz has been updated for another month. The 3 questions we're asking you this time around are: in what country did Kal-El's spaceship land in 1995's Superman Kal Elseworlds comic book story? According to Perry White in Superman the movie, an interview with Superman would be the single most important interview since when? And whose help does Superman call on in 1948's The Mystery of the Stolen Costume story from the Superman radio series? If you think you know the answer to all 3 questions, come by the site now and submit your entry. That's all the Superman news there was for the week April 30th to May 6th. I'm Steve Younis from SupermanHomepage.com.
Hello! This week's Bailey's Planet is inspired by a letter that I received from someone asking me why Superman is often depicted as muscular as opposed to, say, a normal guy, because it must be very much harder for Superman to work out. I believe I referred the person in the letter to the idea that used to be around that Superman had to actually work out, and he would have these giant weights in the Fortress of Solitude, and he'd be like, "Argh!" Even though he could push the earth, whatever. And so, he gets the giant muscles going on. There's all kinds of different ways to look at it. You got the Ed McGuinness way, which is where he's like buff and he's like, "Argh!" Everybody looks like they're on steroids. Even Lex Luthor, who I often picture as someone who would be less about, physical beauty than, say, intellect. So I always picture him as kind of scrawny in my head, no matter how he's depicted. Because he has to be the opposite of Superman. But then Superman, I always thought, like if you do something on a regular basis, like swing a hammer, even if it doesn't require much effort to lift it, you start getting some guns. And I was thinking, karate is the same way. You're punching nothing, and yet you get these massive muscles from the motion. So I figure he's just always contorted in these weird positions, and always, some artists just show him with his spine completely ripped in a different direction. I always thought that explained it, because if you keep active, like when you're running, your arm muscles build. So if you're doing all these things, just moving around, I bet you gives him a pretty muscular physique. I always pictured him as kind of like toned, but not monk smash. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that, for what it's worth. Which is, it's the most pathetic muscle I've ever seen, and I just put it on camera.